An entitled girl gets humiliated by the rich girl at their school. This happened a few years ago at my high school in my 10th grade. Our school had decided to organize a trip to Washington for a week. It was expensive, but the school had a contract with a candy company to help us with the cost. It was pretty nice, and it really helped those who couldn't afford $2,500 for the trip. My friend's parents were going through a vicious divorce at the time. Her mother was a narcissist and loved to use her daughter to hurt her ex-husband. At the beginning of the year, both her parents were 100% supportive and even tried to help her by selling some of the candy at their jobs. However, after a while, her mom decided to change her mind and refused to help her and tried to take away her daughter's permission so she couldn't go. My friend was in tears and couldn't believe her mother would do this to her just because her father wouldn't budge on a pitiful thing. Her father tried to help her, but he had to pay his lawyer, his rent, etc. He couldn't give her the money. Her grandparents, on both sides of the family, helped her out as best they could. But 3 weeks before the end of the deadline, it was clear she wouldn't make it. She was still $800 short. My friend was devastated, and her relationship with her mother was in ruins. It was bad. Then enters V, EK. She was the of our year. She made fun of everyone, but my friend was her favorite target. After all, a lower middle-class student whose parents are divorcing and can't afford the trip? A golden target for her. She was relentless, and no matter how many times we told her off, or that she was never supported by anyone in our year, couldn't stop her. She was like a shark who smelled blood and was on a bloodlust craze. She was from a very wealthy family and liked to look down her nose at us middle-class peasants. Then there was M, rich girl. She was the daughter of a very, very wealthy father, the only girl. She was spoiled beyond belief by her absentee father. Her father gave her about $1,000 a month as an allowance. She was dressed in the best fashions and always had everything she wanted, except her father's attention. Yet, she was never bratty, rude, entitled, or awful. She was one of the nicest people you could meet. She never bragged about her money, as she saw this as crass and shameful behavior. She used $900 of her monthly allowance in investments for her college fund, despite her father's trust fund. The rest was used to either pay her cell phone bill or her expenses, which apparently wasn't much. She didn't care for luxury or money, she just wanted her father to actually spend time with her. M had paid off her entire trip in a single payment. She said her father didn't want her going door to door selling candies when he could just pay the trip himself. Plus, she wasn't comfortable doing it because of her shyness and her lousy selling skills. When news of my friend's financial troubles arrived, V was merciless to her and managed to make her cry, saying things like, "Go back to the ghetto, loser," or "You should try learning how to be a good whore so you can bag yourself a rich husband. I mean, how else would you be able to get anywhere in life? You're so poor." Unfortunately for her, M saw and heard everything. The next day, my friend and I are sitting at our table in the cafeteria, and who decides to pay us a visit if not V? She starts her usual garbage, and we try to ignore her, but it's so freaking hard. Then M arrives, with obvious Prada luggage and purse, and gives my friend a stack of papers, completely ignoring V, who acts like she can't believe anyone would ignore her glorious self. M. "Hi, A, my friend. Mr. Teacher asked me to give you the stack of papers concerning the trip to Washington. He also said that the students are going to have a meeting this Friday after school." A. "But I'm not going. I don't have the money." V. "Yeah, she's too poor. Honestly, how stupid are you? And what are you doing with the bags? You stole them? You know they're fake, right?" M turns and tells V to shut the crap hole that serves her mouth because the sheer amount of BS coming from it is nauseating. Complete silence. No one has ever been this rude to V before. Her parents, who think she can do no wrong, would have destroyed them. M goes on to tell her that she can't just talk to people like that, and that the only reason she targets A is because she has no social life or friends due to her god-awful and toxic personality. V. "You can't talk to me like that. I'm better than you. My father's the VIP of X company and I'm rich. I can do whatever the hell I want. I'll destroy you, you..." M. "Yeah, I know, that's why I showed the video of you being an awful person to my father, who just so happens to be your father's boss. Or are you so entitled that you never notice me at the company's events? Your father is my father's employee and was very interested in the video I gave my father. Now piss off." M turns back to my friend and tells her that her entire trip was paid for by V's father as an apology for his daughter's behavior. as proven by the receipt for the trip in the stack of papers. M continues and says that V's father was so embarrassed that he gave A the luggage and purse that he was going to give V for the trip. He had asked me to give it to her because he knew that she would be happy to do it. V doesn't want to believe because there is no way her daddy would ever do this. M simply suggested that she call her father to check if it was true. V left and was not seen for the entire day. Turns out her parents were absolutely mortified by their daughter's behavior and refused to let her go on the trip. She had to publicly apologize to A in front of the whole class with her parents standing next to her to make sure she did as they told her to do. V did not come back after that year. She had been sent to a military school for problem kids. A ended up coming to Washington and got to live with her dad. M had asked her brother, who is a lawyer, to help A's father in the divorce settlement for pro bono. It was greatly appreciated because her mother had started to go crazy in the demands, and when she hadn't got her way, she had physically stuck A in rage. A and I are now in college and are very happy. A's dad is getting remarried. V, last we heard, got cut off from her parents and now has to live on social welfare because she doesn't have the skills to keep a job for very long. Something about not having the proper mindset or having a clashing personality with her coworkers. Wow, brilliant OP, great story, happy ending. I've met some great rich people, but I have noticed a huge difference between old money and the new money types. Old money types know they did nothing to deserve it and tend to be cool about things like picking up the tab. New money types tend to think they are better and more deserving than anyone. Old money doesn't brag or flash. They'll be wearing old, handmade shoes that they've been keeping up for years. Their bespoke clothing is never faddish. Their cars are never flashy. That's why they're old money. They don't throw it all away in a generation. In our second story, a poor lady had her service dog jump scared by some entitled kids, and she called them out to their faces. So, as the title states, I have a service dog. She's a trained medical alert dog, and she goes with me everywhere. Recently, I went on vacation with my family and my dog for the first time. She was amazing. We went to the beach so we could easily social distance and be outside and away from groups of people. One afternoon, I was sitting by the lazy river condo pool, alternating reading a book and scrolling through Reddit. Because I have a service dog, I don't actually float around the river, and I was lucky that this particular one had a little inlet with stairs I could sit and relax on. My girl was being lazy, watching me sleepily while she sat by on a towel. For the most part, people were pretty chill. There was one group of drunk people who barked at us but stopped when I asked them to, and the most adorable little girl who conveniently had to stop and fix her goggles every time she passed us. She was just respectfully looking at my girl, and seeing her face light up whenever she passed by made me so happy. There was also this group of 4 kids who were being pretty rowdy but weren't bothering me at all. It was an older boy, OB, of about 14, a girl, EG, 12-ish, and 2 younger boys, EB1 and EB2, 9 or 10-ish. The younger boys had told me they liked my dog earlier in the day, but were otherwise leaving me alone. Until one time, they passed me and stopped a little bit in front of where I was sitting. I just smiled at them and continued to read my book as they talked amongst themselves, until I realized the younger boys had crept up right in front of where my dog was laying and were peering over the edge of the pool at her. Before I could ask what they were doing, EB1 yelled, "Now!" and he and EB2 sent a ton of water flying at my dog, which startled the hell out of her because she has been focusing on me completely, as she's trained to do. EG and EB1 and 2 just started howling laughing, and OB, who was obviously mortified, asked them why they did that and then started to walk away. This is how the rest of the conversation went. EG, EB1, and EB2 continue to act like splashing my dog is the funniest they've ever seen. Me. Hey y'all, you might not realize this, stupid if true because my dog was clearly marked as a service dog and do not interact patches. But my dog is a service dog and is only here by the pool because she had a really important job to do. You splashing her with water like that was very mean, but also very dangerous because it distracted her from her job. Please leave us alone now. EB1 still giggling. It's not that big of a deal. The dog will dry. Me. I understand she will dry, but she alerts to changes in my heart rate. I could pass out if she misses an alert, and that's incredibly dangerous when I'm sitting in the water like this. The only reason I can even be in the pool by myself is because of my dog. EB2 rolling his eyes. Your dog is fine. Me. You know what? Y'all need to just go. What you did is serious enough in that state where we were. It is illegal to harass a service dog, and you could go to jail over it. It puts me in danger when you do things like that, and it's mean to my dog. Please leave us alone now. EB1 and EB2's eyes got wide when they hear the word jail. They start to walk away, but EG isn't done arguing. EG, look, your dog already laid back down. It's in the sun so it will dry really fast, and you didn't pass out anyway. Me, ignores her and picks up my now soaking wet book again. EG crosses her arms. Well, I'm not the one who splashed the dog anyway. Me, you could still get in a lot of trouble for just being there though. You should probably watch who you hang around and what you laugh at. EG turns her nose up at me and finally leaves me the hell alone. I thought about reporting the kids to security or finding their parents, but honestly, I just wanted to enjoy the rest of my day and they didn't end up bothering me again. They actually avoided me completely for almost the entire rest of the day. I figured my Karen moment had frightened and embarrassed them sufficiently enough that they would think twice before messing with a service dog again. When we were packing up our stuff to go inside, EG and her family passed us on their way out. I have never been side-eyed so hard by a child in my life, which is crazy to me because her parents were literally right there and I could have told them exactly what happened earlier. I hope those kids don't grow up to be as bratty as they seem like they will. Preteens are hands down my least favorite people to deal with in regards to my service dog. You did not act like a Karen. You educated them and didn't tell the manager or try to get them in trouble. You should be proud of how you handled this. I feel like many people would have freaked out and started shouting. Good on you.
Thanks for tuning in to The Sire. If you enjoyed today's content, smash that like button, subscribe for more unique insights. Catch you in the next one.